Whew, what a ride. So I really do better talking like live, person to person, or even live on social media. I don't usually do too good on videos because I'm thinking, well, I can go back and redo that, but I'm going to try that because I want this information to stay where it can be shared and not go away on Facebook or whatever, because it's critical that people know this. So our journey with my husband's heart issues started when, first of all, he has never had a symptom of any kind of heart problems. So we were just having, because we keep having birthdays, which is a good thing, but we were just having, both of us, routine heart test, checkup, just, because it's important to know. It's like, you may have heard me say, if it's not measured, it can't be improved. So, if you know there's a problem, then you can do something about it. And I'm a very proactive person. I want to know. I want to know if something's going on, so I can, I can do whatever it takes to make it better. But so we were having all these routine heart tests. Every test came back negative, showing no heart problems, no issues whatsoever. So we rock along, and if you know me very well, you know that if this tree right here had something in the root that would heal something in my body, I'm going to dig that root up and eat it, because that's just how I am. I think God put everything on this earth that we need for our bodies to be healthy. So I have a dear friend who is, I don't even know what her doctor is saying, but anyway, she knows everything about all things natural, and so she recommended, because I was on a journey to get off of cholesterol medicine. I'm not on anything. I do take a little heart pill because I have a little electrical issue. I've had people tell me I'm wired before. Well, I am. I have an extra wire in my heart. Basically, is how they explained it. It's not a plumbing issue. It's electrical. It's not anything that's going to take my life. But I've been on cholesterol medicine because that's been high, and my diet doesn't make a difference. Not a difference at all. So I wanted to be off my cholesterol meds. So she recommended that I get a cardiac calcium, or a cardiac CT, to get my cardiac calcium score. So I asked the doctor about it, and he said, well, and I thought, well, my husband has high cholesterol too, so why not just go ahead and get it for both of us? Because if you have high cholesterol, it's very common to have a high cardiac calcium score, and so, which means calcium buildup in your arteries, basically. So we had that done, and mine was 0. Praise God. So I'm never going to worry about cholesterol. I just don't need to worry about it, because it's not affecting my heart. So now my husband's was a different story. Like I said, every routine heart test he had came back negative, showing a healthy heart, no problems, no issues whatsoever. His cardiac calcium score, first of all, 200 is high, 300 is extremely high. His cardiac calcium score was 3,700. So the only routine test that he had not had at that time was a stress test. So they scheduled a stress test. Once again, no problems. Went through the stress test perfect. He says he climbed halfway up Mount Everest. But anyway, went through that test fine. It indicated absolutely no heart problems, strong heart muscle, strong heart blood flow, everything. So they weren't even going to follow up. And I said, oh yes we are. I have questions with a cardiac calcium score that high. I have questions. I didn't even know what questions to ask, but I said we need to talk about this. So sure enough, the cardiologist then decided we would do a heart cath, because that's extremely high calcium count. And so we did a heart cath, and he was almost 90% blocked in every artery with 0 symptoms. So it was basically sneaking up on him, and his arteries were slowly closing, and it was just going to be a matter of time till one or more just completely got to 100%, and he would have a heart attack and most likely be gone. So as I talked to the doctor, he questioned why I wanted it done. I told him, and then he said, well, tell me about your family history. So I told him about mine. I said my parents both died young, but we know what took their lives. Had nothing to do with their heart, or definitely had nothing to do with their heart. So I said, but his parents, on the other hand, his mom died not long after she retired. No known medical issues, no known heart issues, just all of a sudden one day was gone. Blamed it on a heart attack because there didn't seem to be anything else. Same thing several years later with his dad, and last summer his sister. Exact same scenarios. And I said, so since they all apparently died of a heart attack but had no known heart problems, no symptoms, I said, do you not think it would be a good idea to do this? And he said, well, absolutely. I think it'd be a great idea. I think it's probably necessary, but he said insurance won't pay for the test. I said, well, how much is it? $50. I said, are you kidding me? Would you like schedule or put in an order for us to have this like yesterday? I mean, we need this done. You notice I came outside from the hospital because, first of all, it was freezing to death, so it's a little noisy. But anyway, so we got the test, and I have friends who have had heart attacks and had open heart surgery, and have gone back and asked the doctor if they should have this test, and they said no, it wasn't necessary. Well, you're the patient. You know the insurance won't pay for it. You're willing to pay for the test, and obviously it's the only way in a situation like my husband's. It's the only way you're going to know if there is blockage building up or not in the heart. So we just had open heart surgery, 5 bypasses. While he was in surgery, he went into AFib, which was a fear of mine, but it was a blessing because it happened during surgery, so the doctor could do the Mays procedure and basically take care of it to where it won't be as likely for him to go into AFib now. Also, of course, like I said, I'm proactive. I want to try to prevent something if we can. So I had heard about the left atrial. I can't ever say it when I need to say it quick. Anyway, left atrial appendage procedure, left atrial appendage, something like closure or something, I don't know. Anyway, I'd heard that if he had that done, that he wouldn't have to be on blood thinners, and blood thinners don't do him well. So I'd actually asked the nurse if she had put it in his records to ask the doctor to do that while he's in there. I thought, hey, it won't hurt to ask. So she said, well, we don't do it for preventative measures, but she said, I'll mention to him that you said that. So he comes out of surgery and says that he did that while he was in there, because he said they're in a study and trying to decide if it's something they need to do for every heart patient when they get on the table. And sure enough, he said, I believe it's important to do because it's going to help prevent strokes, and he won't have to be on blood thinners. So, another blessing. But anyway, I try to tell everybody I come in contact with. Like, if you come to the salon, you're going to hear this story, and I'm going to tell you, I think you really should go get that cardiac CT to find out what your calcium score is. Because I don't want all my friends, I don't want anything to sneak up on them. So I thought I just needed to record this so I could get it out there, and so people could know about it and see, just kind of know, if we don't know what we don't know, we don't know what to ask or what to do. So I just want all my friends to know. But anyway, he's doing exceptionally well. I told the doctor from the beginning, I said, he's going to recover from this faster than any patient you've ever had. And he said, why do you say that? And I said, because I've worked very hard at getting his antioxidant levels up as high as I can get them, because I know his cells will be protected, and I know people heal from surgery faster, better, more complete if their antioxidants are high. So he said, okay, that's good to know. That's a smart idea. Had a couple of doctors say that. I know of doctors who will not do surgery unless your antioxidant levels are certain, but these are just doctors who are kind of rare because they truly believe that God put everything on this earth that we need to be healthy, and if we've messed up and we haven't done what we need to do, eating a balanced diet, and no, I don't. That's why I take my supplements. It's just important that we know if we're healthy from the inside out. So, just wanted to share this with everyone, and those of you who knew what was going on, thank you so much for your prayers and support. They've definitely made a difference too, I know, and I will keep everyone updated, but measure what matters. If you don't have things measured in your body, like we measure cholesterol to see if it's too high, we measure blood pressure and measure blood sugar. I mean, just measure, get your antioxidants measured, because that's the only way to keep your cells healthy, and then that's the only way to fight off disease is with healthy cells. So I can make that happen for you. It's no cost. If you want more information on that, just give me a shout. But anyway, thank you guys for being such great friends. If you're listening to this, especially if you've listened this far, you are a dear friend, and I'm thankful for that. And just let me know if you have any questions, and keep helping me pray for a full and complete recovery. So I'll keep you posted. Love you guys. Bye.